Alright guys, so we can now add a post through our application. In fact, let's go ahead and log in here. I'll log in as John. And if we go to our post feed, our form works. It adds it to the database. It also brings the posts into the post array in the state, but it's not displaying down here. So we have to do a couple different things. First thing I want to do is create an action that will actually fetch the posts. So let's do that. Let's go into our post action file. And let's see, we're going to add to our types here that we're bringing in. Let's add in get_posts. Okay, and then we're going to go below our add post and we're going to create a get posts. I'm just going to copy this actually. Alright, so this will get posts and we'll call it get posts. It's not going to take any data, so this is just going to be empty. We're going to use dispatch. Now we need to create a set post loading method, just like we did with the profiles when we were fetching the profiles. So that's really easy. So we'll just add that right here. We'll say set loading state, and we're just going to export const set post loading and say equals. It's not going to take in anything. We don't need the dispatch. All we're doing is returning a type of post_loading. Okay, and we need to bring that in up here as well. So post_loading, and we'll create the type for that in the reducer as well. So back to get posts, the API that we want to hit is going to be /API. It's going to be a get request first of all, and it's going to be API/post. So we don't have to change that. We do want to get rid of the post data. We're not passing any data to it. And then once it's fetched, we're going to call get posts. And remember, it gives us back in res.data, it'll give us back all the posts. Now, if there's an error, I don't actually want to call get errors because we're not using a form or anything where we actually need specific errors. We're going to call get posts again, except this time we're going to say that the payload is null. All right, and then of course we want to call this set post loading, so we're going to go right before we make the request and we're going to dispatch set post loading. Oops. All right, just like that. So let's save this. Let's go to our post reducer, and we're going to bring in a couple things here. Let's bring in get_posts, and let's bring in posts or post loading. So I'll add the post loading. I guess I'll just put that right here. So post loading, and what we want to do is just return the initial state. We'll use a spread operator, and then we just want to say loading true. Okay, and then once we get the posts, let's go down here. Actually, we'll put it here. Let's say case get_posts, and for that we want to return the current state. And then for posts, we just want to fill that with the payload, which is going to be all the posts, so action.payload. And then we want to make sure we set loading back to false. Okay, once they're fetched, it's not loading anymore. And the spinner, we don't want that spinner to show. So let's save that. So that looks good. And then that's it for our reducer in action. Now we're ready to create our components. So we have our post component, but we're going to have two more in here. We're going to have a post feed, which just is going to be responsible for basically mapping through the posts, and then a post item, which will be responsible for showing each post. But first, let's hook up Redux in our main post component. So we brought in connect. So let's go down here and export connect, and in here let's say map state to props, and we want to create that. Oops. All right, so here we want to get our posts. So we want posts from the post state, and that'll map it to a property. Let's also add our prop types. So we have post, and that's going to be an object. Is it? Yeah. Post will be an object dot is required, because we're getting the post state, not the actual post array. The post array is within the post state. So it would be this dot props dot post dot posts. All right, now remember the action we have get posts, which we just created in our post action right here. So we need to bring that in. So let's say import get posts from actions slash post actions, and then we need to of course add that as a second parameter here in this object. So let's say get posts, and we'll also add that to our prop types. Okay, so that is prop types dot function or func. Good. So this this get post, we actually want to call this as soon as this post component mounts. So let's go up here and let's add component did mount, and in here we'll say this dot props dot get posts. Okay, and that should fetch them. Now right away, if I save this, we should be able to at least see it in the Redux extension. So if we go to our post page and we go down here, you can see in posts it's filled. All right, it's not displaying here, we didn't do that yet, but at least we know that it's in our state. Okay, it's fetching it and it's putting it in our state. Good. Now in the render here, let's use some destructuring, and we're going to pull out from the props, from the post state that's in our props, we want to take out posts, the array, and loading. Okay, so same idea that we did with the profile, except it's going to be this dot props dot post instead of profile. We're going to initialize post content, and then we want to check to make sure that posts is not null. So if posts is equal to null or loading is true, then we want to display our spinner. So we'll say post content equals spinner, which we already brought in, and else. Okay, so if post is not null, it's not loading, then we want to display our post feed component, which we haven't created yet. So we'll say post content will then equal post feed, and we want to pass in a property of posts. Okay, and we can just pass that in like that. And then down here, we just want to go right under the post form and put our post content. Oops. So this will be post content. All right, perfect. So now we need to create our post feed. So let's go under the posts folder in the components. We're going to create post feed.js Pascal case. We're also going to create a file called post item for each post item. Now post item is going to have quite a bit in it, so I'm going to save that for the next video, but let's at least get the post feed. This is pretty easy. All we're doing is going to map through the posts that are passed in right here. We're going to map through these, and then we're going to display a post item for each one. So let's at least get this done. So we'll say rcc tab, and this will be post feed. Okay, we don't need to bring in connect or anything. However, we will bring in prop types because we do have that post property. So let's import prop types. Okay, and then we also want to bring in the post item component. That's going to be in the same folder, post item. And let's see, we'll add our prop types down here. So we'll say PostFeed dot prop types, and we just have posts, and we'll set that to prop types. Now this is an array, and it is required. Okay, now inside of our render, we're going to destructure and take the posts out of the props. So we'll simply do const posts, take them out of the props, and then in the return, all we're going to do, we don't even need this. We're going to return posts.map. We want to map through these, and then for each one, we'll have a post, and then we just want to display the post item, which will have a key, and we'll use the post._ID for the key, and then the post itself will obviously just be the post. All right, and that's it. So if I save this now, we're going to get an error because it doesn't know what post item is. Or actually, wait, post feed is not defined. Let's see, did I not bring that into posts? No, I didn't. So we got to make sure we do that. Let's put that right here. We'll put that right here. So import post feed from /post feed. All right, so now we should get a different error. Check the render. Yeah, so you likely forgot to export your component file. We didn't export the component because we haven't even created it yet. So in the next video, we're going to go ahead and create the post item.